evening, Greg. Welcome to the Entertainment Lounge. How are you this evening?
I am good. It's good to see you again.
Yes, yes. So, what's behind the Renaissance? What is that? The Renaissance Orchestra?
Renaissance Rock Orchestra. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we have it right at the top.
Right at the top there. Tell me
Just
a
in
little bit
case
about
you
your
forget.
band. I'm sorry?
Just in case you forget, it's right up there.
That's right up there. Tell me a little bit about your band.
Well, the Renaissance Rock Orchestra is a concept that I first started working on when I moved to Las Vegas about 10 years ago. Actually, even prior to that, when I was out in Venice Beach, California, my best friend and my bass player who helped me start this project originally, Mikey Bones, who passed away in 2017, would come out to Venice Beach. We'd be writing these songs and kind of conceptualizing what this could be, what the Renaissance Rock Orchestra could be. But I'm the creator, the composer, the keyboard player for it. And when I moved out to Las Vegas around 2009, 2010, we started continuing to write and record the records. We released our first record in 2014, but the concept of Renaissance Rock Orchestra kind of came from Trans-Siberian Orchestra originally. Because when I moved out here to Las Vegas, Mikey and I would go see these Trans-Siberian Orchestra shows, and I love the concept. I love the fact that that it was classical metal, something that I knew I could do and write very well. And so we continued working on that. But because of all the people that Mikey Bones knew and all the people that I was meeting in Las Vegas when I moved here, it was just an amazing experience. I was here a very short period of time, and I was asked to play for Miley Cyrus for the Academy of Country Music Awards in front of 36 million people. But I was also doing shows with the Rock Gods Hall of Fame, Raiding the Rock Vault, and all these different shows were collaborations of lots of different well-known rock artists from huge bands. So my concept was to take Trans-Siberian Orchestra, take out the Christmas, and put in rock stars. So that's kind of where the idea originally came from, and I started creating all the material for that. And it was really amazing that so many of these artists that we reached out to and that we were working with in all these other shows we're so excited about this music,
right?
Because there's a level of virtuosity and complexity to the music and melodicness, and it's very positive, inspiring, uplifting type material, and they all wanted to be a part of it. So it's been really quite a blessing to have all these amazing artists, from everything from ACDC to Black Sabbath, to Guns N' Roses, to Foreigner, to Whitesnake, Ted Nugent. Just goes on and on and on. As a matter of fact, our second release, which you can hear on Spotify and every streaming platform, it's called In Times of Old. And that record actually has 27 rock stars on it, including 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame members. So yeah, it included my friend Howard Leese, who I worked with in Seattle on many occasions. So I'm a Seattle boy. And Howard was, of course, with Heart, and still continues to play with Paul Rogers, and is inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And also we have drummer Alan White from Yes, who is a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee too. So very proud of that record and the 27 different rock stars that are on it. So yeah, everybody go listen to In Times of Old. And we have a number of those videos on YouTube also. So
wow, that is awesome. So now this is something new, because here in Detroit, of course, we're the city of Motown. So and we have a lot of rock stars that have come out of Detroit. But for me, in my opinion, this is something that's brand new. Renaissance rock. That's different.
It is, isn't it? Yes. For me, when I started actually having all these rock stars want to become involved and start recording with the project, it was kind of an extension of what the concept was for the project, because I see this as a renaissance of rock.
Right.
for a lot of these artists. This is a kind of another chance to have another swing at bat and to really kind of go out in a big way as we all start to get older, but to bring back rock and roll again and rock music on a new level, a symphonic basis. I've also played violin and I was in orchestra all my life, so most of my music has lots of symphonic background to it. And my vision is that we will actually have a residency here in Las Vegas and we'll have a full orchestra. My dreams are big. And that we'll have a full orchestra playing not only our own material, but also symphonic versions of the classic hits by Queen and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith, etc. So,
some of the greatest bands. I love Queen too. Wow. Yeah. So
as a matter of fact, since you're talking about Queen, I want to bring this up real fast.
Okay.
Our new record that we recorded during COVID that I wrote during 2020, and it's actually called A Song of Hope. And this is the background you see here is the cover for the record, but the record is actually called A Song of Hope 2020. And there is a track on there. The third song is a song called Circus Life, which is kind of a little bit of my life story, all the crazy tours I've been on and living rock and roll and playing in front of thousands and thousands of people, but it's very, very Queen-like. So I recommend that you might want to hear that if you're a Queen fan, because it's amazing. And my singer, Mark Boals, who sang the entire record on A Song of Hope, our last release, I kind of went with a little bit of a different concept. I wanted to develop a core band for Renaissance Rock Orchestra so we can start performing in Las Vegas and doing this residency that I'm telling you about, which has begun, by the way. We started that at the end of July, did our first debut show here in Las Vegas.
Oh, awesome.
And so we're looking forward to doing a lot more shows between now and the end of the year. I have a couple different deals going on that are going to move us forward into this residency concept that I've been talking about. And I think there's a very good possibility we could do up to 20 shows between now and the end of the year. But
that's awesome.
That's very exciting too.
That's awesome. And hopefully I get a chance to, to see you all when I come down there in October,
Absolutely.
I would love to see you all. So now, do you think that's something that's going to be different, that you're going to find maybe other artists is going to venture out into the rock orchestra type side?
I definitely foresee this as being a revolving door of rock stars. And I believe that as it builds and grows and the brand becomes much more well-known, that we will just have even more amazing artists on the record.
Oh yeah.
I don't really want to bring up who any of those people might be yet, but they're names that very, very well. And we will continue to always have these guest star artists that appear in the residency as this thing grows and continues going on. But for the time being, I'm kind of using this core band that includes Brian Tichy, the drummer from Whitesnake and Foreigner, Mark Boals doing all the vocals, and of course Mark toured with Ted Nugent. And sang with Yngwie Malmsteen, the virtuoso metal guitarist, Yngwie Malmsteen, who is considered to be one of the top 5 guitar players in the world of metal.
Oh wow! Wow, that's amazing. I definitely cannot wait. That is just amazing. And you're right. I do see. I can see this, going on for something new that. The other artists or bands are going to tap into.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I foresee setting it up in such a way so that obviously visitors here to Las Vegas and visitors, people come here from around the world, of course. So I love that we can build this brand and people can learn about Renaissance Rock Orchestra from coming here to see the show.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a lot less expensive to have a residency in one location than it is to actually tour the world. But we can also see ourselves going out and doing shows with a lot of these symphonies in different cities, whether it's New York or Seattle. And doing our music and these symphonic renditions. Eventually we'll get there, but let's start in Las Vegas and build this residency first.
That's true. That's true. And what a great place and a great city to start that in, with
Right.
so many people coming to visit, all
Yeah.
year round. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So we'll be able to, of course, announce these guest star artists months in advance, so that people that plan on traveling to Las Vegas can actually plan their trips based around coming to see Renaissance Rock Orchestra and to come see their favorite artists that might be performing with us at the time, whether it's Bumblefoot from Guns N' Roses. It's a long list of potential guest artists that we have.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, did you come from a musical family or a musical background? Where did you get started in this industry?
Yeah, well, I started in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, and I come from a very, very musical family, a very church-going religious family. So me and my sister were singing in front of the church when I was 5 and she was 2. Okay. And my mom was church organist. My dad was the choir director. So we would often sing quartets, and I would do duets and trios playing violin, and would play piano a lot. And me and my sister would sing. My mom and my dad would sing quite often. They were in women's quartets and men's quartets. So there was always a piano in our house. I mean, I could be found climbing up on the piano when I was 2, 3 years old. And I was always so fascinated with the piano. And mom and dad got me started on lessons when I was 5. We had a young man that played piano in our church. Kurt Brookshire was his name, and he was just a fabulous pianist. And he definitely inspired me to want to become a great pianist. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful to that kind of upbringing. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad.
That is wonderful. Oh my God. Now, we just kind of a little bit described your music a little bit. Describe your creative process. When you're in the studio, or you're about to go in the studio, or you're writing your song, you're producing it. What is your creative process?
Well, for me, because I've played keyboards and piano for so long and have a degree in music, everything starts with the music for me. Mm-hmm. So as a matter of fact, it's an amazing thing. At this point in my life, this music just flows out of me continually. Every single time that I sit down at the keyboard, I write a new song. It's just it's like, I don't know where it comes from and how it happens, but I'm very, very grateful that this music, it feels like a gift to me. So it all starts with the music. It all comes from the keyboards, being a keyboard player. So I write it all on keyboards and with piano sounds, synth sounds, string sounds. And from there, of course, I start to arrange the song, and the song starts to develop a little bit more. And then I have all the lyrics. I often, when I get into this creative mode and know that it's time to prepare a new record, the mind, I write all the lyrics too. And so the mind is always thinking of concepts and ideas that come. A lot of it's from the heart. A lot of it's from my life, different experiences in my life that I go through. But I try to write music that is not only melodically inspiring and uplifting, but that lyrically does the same thing, that kind of takes people to a unique spot, that is a little bit out of the norm, not the same old rehashed concepts that you hear in rock and roll songs. So I'm always trying to take you someplace good and inspire your life somehow if I can.
Awesome.
But, yeah, and a lot of times it comes together very, very easily and simply, although I'm working on our 4th record now. And I have been struggling a little bit. I have a pile of lyrics that are about that high, and I have so many songs that I want to put on the record. And right now I'm really frustrated because I'm having a really hard time trying to get these lyrics to fit the songs. And as a matter of fact, as of yesterday, I've kind of got to the point where I just started rewriting lyrics that just seem to fit the music better, rather than trying to write the stuff that I had that I've been waiting around since I wrote the COVID release, A Song of Hope.
Right.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
Awesome.
as long as we're talking about that and that creative process, I'd
Mhm.
like to talk about that song, A Song of Hope, just a little bit more
Okay.
up here, because that's the title track to that last record that I wrote during COVID. And it's been getting an amazing response from people worldwide.
Oh,
As
good.
an artist, one of the things that you want to do when you write is to really reach people, right?
Right.
To touch them and cause some kind of emotive response. And I think probably the title track from that record, A Song of Hope, which is available on Spotify and YouTube, is a song that I'm very proud of. One of my best works, I think. I've had people from around the world leave comments on YouTube about how it's helped them with the loss of their parents, loss of jobs, you know, all the changes that we've all gone through. And
Right.
yeah, there's been a lot of grief and trauma with the whole pandemic. And it's really touched a lot of people worldwide. And I'm very, very proud to have been able to write a song that reaches people on that level. So,
Oh yeah. And then, music period too, during times like that,
yeah,
you really have to not only listen to the musical, part of it, but
yeah,
listening to the words too, because they have so much
absolutely.
meaning, especially when you write the song, when the artist writes the songs, it's always
Yes,
either coming from their heart from experiences, like you said, or someone else's experience. And
right.
when you go and just set your eyes and just listen to the words,
Yeah,
it does reach people. You're absolutely right.
yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's
especially during this
definitely what I
time.
hope to do.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, for sure. When you were growing up, besides the gospel or Christian music, what other types of music did you listen to growing up?
Oh, that's kind of mostly it was all church music. It was all gospel music because
Mhm.
we were going to church twice on Sundays, Bible studies, church on Wednesday. So that was mostly what I was listening to. But of course, back in the '60s, there was quite a revolution in music, and so there was amazing music that was coming out that was you'd hear it on the radio, and it was all the music that was coming out at that point was almost like folk rock, whether you're talking
Mm,
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, whether you're talking Joni Mitchell,
mhm.
Cat Stevens.
Right.
Just a lot of it was just really, really beautiful, beautiful, almost folk music. Of course, it was the beginning of rock and roll,
Mhm.
and but yeah, so they all had great messages because it was a period of time where artists were hoping to change the world with the music they were creating at the time, and we
Right.
all felt like that was going to happen. And with Woodstock, and this huge cultural revolution through music,
Mhm.
so that highly, highly influenced me in my writing. And of course, other things. Elton John was just an amazing influence to me as a
Oh
pianist,
yeah.
young man. So
Mhm.
really, really loved Elton John music. But as as I started getting more into rock and roll, and some amazing bands were coming out, Led Zeppelin, of course, was a huge influence on me. And you'll still hear a lot of Zeppelin influences in a lot of my symphonic songs and
Mhm.
a lot
Yes,
of
you
my
do.
creations. But
Yes,
being
you
a
do.
keyboard player, being a
Mhm.
keyboard player, I and being a musician, being raised in a musical household, also being a violinist in orchestra, etc. I I tended to really love what they call progressive rock, prog rock, which are
Okay.
bands that were taking rock and roll to another musical level, a very
Okay.
melodic level, a lot of time changes, meter changes. And so bands like Yes,
Yeah.
a very progressive rock band, Yes, very positive band. Most of their
Right.
music is very, very uplifting. So I was really into Yes. I was very much into Keith Emerson, a virtuoso pianist, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, so things that were really cutting edge. And of course, all these bands were using the newest keyboards too, and the newest keyboard sounds and synthesizers. And so all of that, I was fascinated by that as, you know, being a keyboard player, and loved all those kind of bands.
Awesome. Awesome. When you all are on stage, what is it like? I know it's full of energy, but what is it like being on stage and entertaining in front of a large crowd, and and how do you keep the audience hyped? How do you all do that?
It's different for everybody, but for me, it's oh, did I lose you?
Oh, nope, you're I don't see you, but no, you're
Let's go
fine.
back.
Yep, that's okay. You're fine.
There we go. Okay, I lost my audio here for a second. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know where
Yes,
that.
I hear you.
At. You can still hear me?
Yep.
I can't hear you anymore, though. Strange.
You can't hear me?
I can barely hear you, but I can. I guess I can hear you enough to continue. So for me, when I'm on stage, I feel it's a responsibility for the artist to not only entertain their audiences, but to really connect with them on a lot of levels. And I think the most successful artists that are such great performers and entertainers are the ones that do directly connect with the audience in a lot of ways. So when I'm performing on stage, I try to have eye contact with as many people as I can in the crowd, because that connection really brings them into your sphere and into your world and into your energy. And of course, with all the lights, a lot of times you can't see the people way in the back. And I've played in front of tens of thousands of people where it's impossible to do that. But you're still just exuding all the energy that you have. You're giving away every ounce of energy you have. For me, that's what I do. And I'm kind of known for very energetic performances as a keyboard player. And so, yeah, I'm trying to create the energy, give them the energy, show them the energy, connect with them on a personal level, those that I can. And I found it works very well. And so I love that feeling of being able to connect with the audience and raise all that energy. You can see it, as you build a show and you build a set list, like in my shows for Renaissance Rock Orchestra, I'm always aware of the highs and the lows. And so you want to create tension and energy and excitement. But then, of course, you want to have those dramatic moments where you bring things down and you give everybody a moment to breathe and to relax so you can build them up again.
Oh, right? Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's awesome. On that note, we're getting ready to look at one of your videos. This is one of your songs, In My Loving Arms.
Fantastic. So that was the first single that was released off the Song of Hope, In My Loving Arms. And I released that originally on Spotify. We now have a digital distribution deal through Curtain Call Records. And that is the first single that is being released here in the next week or two. That will be reaching about 20 million listeners a week.
Awesome.
Yeah, very excited about that deal.
Well, here's the video, In My Loving Arms. awesome, Greg. Love the song, In My Loving
Thank you.
Arms. Love
Thank
it.
you so much.
Love it, love it.
Yeah, we on that song, one of the notable facts that I love about that song is the guitar player on that one, a gentleman by the name of Michael James Romeo. That incredible guitar intro you hear and that solo, arguably one of the finest solos you can hear in rock music today. It's really an amazing piece of music, and what he did with that on guitar is so powerful. Michael James Romeo is from a band called Symphony X.
Okay.
And he's been Burn magazine listed him in the top 10 metal guitarists of all time. So he's a very, very remarkable player. And Michael James Romeo is also an amazing arranger. He does a lot of work for film and TV also. So it was really quite an honor to have him play on that song, In My Loving Arms. He plays on several songs on the new record, along with my other two guitar players who are actually in the Las Vegas residency, Christian Brady from Hell Yeah, and Tony Alleman from Juan Crucier's Rat, who are both on the record. And those two gentlemen play with me a lot in the residency here in Las Vegas. But I do really hope that we're going to be able to bring Michael James Romeo into Las Vegas when we get this thing built up just a little bit further. And as this thing grows, I know he wants to be involved. And he and I will probably do a lot of co-writing for the project because he's just such a brilliant arranger.
Awesome. Yes. Love the song. Yes. And that guitar. Oof.
I know, isn't that something? Yeah. Some brilliant, amazing guitar work. Michael James Romeo, yes.
I would agree. And in your experience coming up and and doing music, for the listeners out there who wants to get into this business or want to start a band or even have a band, and wants to put their music out there, can you give them any type of advice? Like, what are the pros and cons in this industry?
Oh my. Well, there's certainly a lot of cons. There's no doubt about that. In that, it's a difficult life, trying to gain traction and get the record deal and get the kind of exposure you need. And now, good things and bad things, the industry continues to evolve over the years. And in some ways, it's become a lot more difficult. In some ways, it's become a lot easier. It's a lot easier nowadays to do it yourself without a label, because there's so many different distribution options and channels available with social media and YouTube and Spotify and ways you can get your music out there. That being said, because of that, there are so many more artists that are in that pool trying to gain the attention of the audience. And of course, we also know that with not only so many artists, but so many things happening on the internet, whether it's video games, it goes on and on and on, that time limit you have to gain the attention of a listener is very short these days. The attention span of the audience is a lot less than it was when I started. When I started, it was all music was really all there was to do. There was no video games, there was no internet, so that was our life. I mean, even just the radio. Just you're listening to the radio constantly to get new music. You're going to the record store and finding new music and going home and putting it on and listening to it in one listen. A lot of the music that came out when I was coming up were entire records that conceptually gave you something from start to finish. Whereas nowadays, most musical releases are singles. There may not even be a record at all for a lot of different artists. They'll just do nothing but release a single and release another single. So it doesn't have that same fluidity that artists were writing back then, where you were creating this continuity of a lyrical concept or a musical concept, or even just a feeling that you had when you were writing the music. There's just this feeling. So now a lot of artists, they write this song and it has this idea, this concept, and then they come up with one that's completely different. It may even be musically completely different. But so yeah, so those are some of the pros, some of the cons. The most important thing, two different things I think for young artists that are coming up is, first of all, perform live at every opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Whether that's live streaming, whether it's live streaming on Facebook, but if you can, make sure you get out in front of people at your local coffee house, at your church, the local pub, or whatever it might be. Any opportunities you can to actually perform in front of people, because that's going to develop that ability to express yourself and to give yourself away as an artist, which I think is so important to success on a lot of levels. You know, it depends on the style of music you're doing and who you want to be, of course, because as we know, there's a lot of art out there now that is so separate from that connectivity to the audience, where it's almost like performance art, if you know what I'm saying, with the dancing and this and that, and of course with live streaming, there's just a complete separation from the audience. But still, that would be my suggestion: get out in front of crowds, learn how to perform in front of an audience. And the other thing, of course, is to write every day.
Oh yeah.
Express everything you feel every day, everything you're going through in your life. Express it all. That's how you learn as an artist. That's how you grow as an artist. That's how you grow as a person. So creativity is a very is a cathartic process. And for me, it almost feels divine and timeless. When I'm creating, I am more at peace than I am at any other time. But that's just me. But it is important to create all the time and continually.
And you made a very good point too, because the industry has changed so much throughout the years as far as the artists getting their music out there. Because like you said, at first they were just, taking them to the radio stations. Hey, play my record. You're on there, and then too, you're under a label, so you're kind of controlled when you're under a label, and they want you to put so many songs out. Where now, like you said, it's just a single here. They're putting out EPs that you don't need to have a complete album.
That's right.
That just shows you how things have changed now.
Yes, completely different world. Completely different world. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's for sure. Do you find that a lot of artists now are going independent, especially the more established artists? Do you find them going into just being independent, putting their own music out where they don't have to go to the record labels and being controlled at all?
Yes, it's a very good question. The established artists, of course, are not really doing that. Most of the established artists do have alliances and affiliations with distribution, record labels, a lot of different things like that. And that's how they reach such large audiences, because they're still using a little bit of old school marketing. But it works at that level with the record machine that gets it out there. But for the new artists particularly, it's really not so necessary to be doing that, because you can do it all yourself. The big question about that, of course, is to gain that audience and to gain that traction, which is very difficult to do, to gain the attention, to get it out there, to make sure that people actually do hear it. For me and for this project, I think it's very important for us to continue to go with kind of an old school concept in using labels and distribution and touring companies, because I'm trying to build the brand and get the world to hear about it. And so for me, I would like to be affiliated with bigger and bigger distribution channels, so that their crowd, their fans, their website, their social media of hundreds and hundreds of thousands and millions of people know about Renaissance Rock Orchestra as soon as possible. So yes, that's why I'm excited to have this arrangement with Curtain Call Records. and that's a digital distribution arrangement right now. But I hope to find the right terrestrial label that will distribute actual, not that there's a lot of record stores anymore, but
Right.
once again, it's just to be affiliated with a label like Sony or Universal, whatever it might be. Inside Out, there's a lot of them, Century, just to bring their fan base, to put our product, our music into their world, all the people that follow them and buy all their records. That would be a big step and an important step. And the same thing is true of touring companies too. I expect the kind of material we do is really, really well accepted in Europe, South America,
Right.
Japan. And so we're a little bit beyond this do-it-yourself world a little bit, in that we need to have affiliations with very professional and seasoned companies that can get us in these festivals in Europe and South America, Japan, etc.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure. For
yeah.
sure. Awesome. I want to thank you, Gregg, for coming on to the Entertainment Lounge. It was a pleasure. We learned
Thank you.
so
That's
much
always
from you, especially about rock orchestra. This is going to be phenomenal. And like you
Thank
said,
you.
I know that it's going to be, we're going to hear more of it.
Oh,
It's,
yes.
it's new. We're going to hear it all over the world. This is going to
There's
be
no
something
stopping
new.
this freight train now. This train
That's
is on the
right.
tracks and it's going.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Tanya.
Gregg,
It's really a
where can
wonderful
go ahead.
pleasure to chat with you.
Oh, thank you. Where can they find you on social media?
Oh, well, on social media, of course, YouTube is a great place to go. We release videos every Tuesday and every Friday. Please go to YouTube, Renaissance Rock Orchestra, and subscribe while you're there, please. We'll take all the likes and comments we can get. Spotify is a great place to hear a lot of our new music. I try to release a new single about every 2 months now. I'm still releasing songs from A Song of Hope, and I'm writing and recording the new tracks that are going to be on our next record, our 4th record. So yes, please go to Spotify and whatever your streaming platform is, but please like and follow. We certainly need to build up that fan base. On Facebook, you can find us at Renaissance Rock Orchestra. You'll be hearing about a lot of our upcoming shows here in Vegas there. Also on Instagram, Renaissance Rock Orchestra. So yeah, once you find the Renaissance Rock Orchestra thing and get it into your head, just every type of social media platform there is, that's where you'll find us.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much again, Gregg Fox, for coming on to the Entertainment Lounge. We really appreciate you. I'm definitely going to have you back on the show very, very soon.
That's good.
Yes, and for those of you out there, you can find the Entertainment Lounge on our Facebook page, the Entertainment Lounge with actress Tanya Michelle. We're also on Instagram under the Entertainment Lounge. And of course, you can find all of the past episodes of season 1 on MJO Network and Roku TV, as well as my website, the Entertainment Lounge. Gregg, again, I want to thank you for coming on to the Entertainment Lounge. And for those of you out there, I will see you next week.